We'd like to welcome everybody tonight to the Cheatham County Commission Workshop, April 13th, 2026. We're going to open up the public forum tonight. I'll call on you. You'll have 3 minutes. Miss Diana right here is going to run a clock for us. Our little normal clock, I let it die on us, so you'll have 3 minutes. First one's Mr. Jeremy Whitaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
First, I'd like to thank the Commission for your service. I appreciate what you do. My name is Jeremy Whitaker. I live at 1904 Cedar Hill Road. And as you can imagine, I'm opposed to this rural resort county zoning amendment, and I'm opposed specifically to this proposed project that's on the table here tonight. I live right across the river from the site where this project would be built, and I want to tell you about this past Saturday evening. So currently this site is used for large events. This past Saturday evening there was a party out there that lasted till 2 a.m. and there was loud music until 1:30 a.m. We could hear it. It was so loud. We could hear it inside of our house. The windows were thumping from the bass. My children couldn't go to sleep. I gave my kids earplugs. They still couldn't sleep. My daughter had a friend over for a sleepover. She couldn't sleep. She wanted to call her mom, and my wife had to drive her all the way back to West Nashville because she couldn't sleep. So if this type of development is allowed to occur in areas where it clearly does not belong, an area with agricultural land, residential homes, farms, and you guys want to put a party location? I mean, that's what this is. This is a resort. There would be a non-stop party every single night. Right next to my property, right next to my neighbor's property, right next to farmland, right next to the state park. It does not make sense. It does not fit the character of the community. This would be like putting a nightclub in the middle of a residential neighborhood. Or like putting a manufacturing warehouse in the middle of a residential neighborhood. It doesn't make sense. It violates the most fundamental principles of zoning law. So think about that. So I just wanted you all to know that today, that site, the people that own that site, apparently don't follow the noise ordinance law as it exists today. And apparently the county doesn't enforce the noise ordinance law, because my understanding is you cannot be making noise like that past 11 p.m. It went on until 1:30. And it wasn't just any music. It was rap music with explicit themes, explicit lyrics that my children were forced to listen to. As a parent, it's my responsibility to make sure my kids listen to appropriate material. I couldn't control that. And this is what you guys want? If you do this, you would expand that kind of activity. And it would be going on next to me, next to my neighbors, every single night. So I just want you to know that. And finally, with the election coming up, I just want to say we have over 3,300 signatures in opposition to this resort concept. And I will make sure that everyone is organized and mobilized to vote against any commissioner that indicates support for this amendment, or any county mayor. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Miss Linda Ryder.
Hi, I'm Linda Ryder. Most of you know me by now. I live at the narrows of the Harpeth Road outside Kingston Springs, very close to the proposed Bells Reserve Resort. And I think most of you know that I am opposed to the proposed zoning amendments and that resort. But tonight, I just want to thank you all for the work that you do as commissioners, because I know it can really seem like a thankless job sometimes. And I just want to say the time has come, oops, except for where I lost it. I want to say that the time has come where you have an opportunity to show Cheatham County residents that their voices and upholding our approved growth plan matter more than catering to an outside developer. And I'm optimistic that you will support the will of the people. Thank you very much.
Charles Watkins.
Thank you, Council. I don't really have anything planned, but at least in terms of to say. But I don't know if anyone's looked around recently, but I haven't really seen any pretty architecture anywhere. And God's green earth is priceless. That's all I have to say.
Harrison Hart.
My speech is in regard to the rural resorts. I am perplexed as to why we are here today still discussing the repugnant proposal of prostituting out one of the most biodiverse rivers in North America. To the same people who have ruined neighboring Davidson County, developers from downtown Nashville, notably C.B. Ragland. And I'd also like to point out that, if I stand corrected, Michael Hayes is not even in attendance tonight. Shows you the lack of respect that he has for all of you in regards to discussing this. If these floodgates are opened and the zoning law passes, everyone from across the country that is involved in development will wreak havoc on the environment. They will tear out tree lines, chase off kayakers, and harass sportsmen, fishermen, you name it. Littered with the same type of rural resorts as proposed, as an example, the Toccoa River in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Georgia once boasted shoreline for kayakers and fishermen alike that they could enjoy. Now it's nearly been all developed. Forestry destroyed, docks built upon where fishermen used to cast, and resort companies chasing sportsmen off. Most of the Harpeth River property owners I've spoken to are friendly and happily give us permission to us enjoyers of the river and welcome us to enjoy the land as long as we pick up after ourselves, and are opposed to such resorts. The irreparable damage that this will cause will never change once happened. That is all. Thank you.
Mr. Mike Hargis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Commissioners, for allowing me to speak this evening. I'm Kingston Springs resident. I live at 164 Scenic Harpeth Drive in Kingston Springs. I serve on the City Commission. I've served on the Planning Commission. I serve as Vice Mayor of Kingston Springs. And I want to tell you tonight that I am in favor of the Rural Resort Development Plan using a rural resort PUD. That's way more restrictive than any other kind of zoning that we have on the books right now in Cheatham County. It can be limited lots of ways, bigger setbacks. There's 560 acres. There'd be 8 acres of rooftops in this rural resort building. So that's pretty low density. There is noise regulations in the PUD. The GNRC has put together a model PUD looking at other resorts in Tennessee that are similar to this, and there's 6 of them. 50% of those were built outside the growth area, and they are thriving businesses that really coexist well with the local communities. You know, it's not really a decision about whether you're going to develop this land or not. It's how you're going to develop it and what's the tax impact on the county. So if you look at the tax impact, you built 100 homes on 5-acre lots out there, that are $1 million apiece. That's about $5,000 in county taxes per building. That's $5 million over 10 years, $500,000 in a single year. If you put a rural resort in, you get not just property tax, but you get sales tax, you get hotel motel taxes paid directly to the county to the tune of $6 million a year or $60 million over 10 years. Tennessee Department of Tourism had done a recent study about Cheatham County, and they say that the best kind of development is tourist development, because those folks come to your community, they enjoy the resort, they spend their money, and they go home. So they don't add to your schools, but they do provide lots of funds for policemen and firemen and sheriff's deputies, for school teachers, for roads, and we desperately need more money in this county for infrastructure. So I urge you also to, when you meet next Thursday, to reject the resolution that's floating around that basically would ban any discussion about this. I think as public servants, we need to hear both sides of the story. You may not agree with me, but at least you ought to hear what the other side of the story is before you decide to vote on something that would kill all debate. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you. Lisa Bold.
Hello, my name is Lisa Bold. I live on Little Pond Creek Road. I have been enjoying the narrows of the Harpeth State Park for over 30 years and would like to continue enjoying it without construction traffic and the eventual resort traffic. This rezoning would forever change this area for the people who reside close by and those of us who respectfully enjoy the Narrows Park area. Other people agree with me. According to the over 3,300 people who have signed one petition against the rezoning of this land. Rezoning only because one out-of-county company partnered with an out-of-state company have requested the change. Please listen to the people in Cheatham County and not corporate interests. Keep the zoning plan as it is now. Thank you.
All right, Miss Betty Ramsey.
My name is Betty Ramsey. I used to be a commissioner 8 years ago, and when I left office, they promised me that they would be a man to come around and keep these people from throwing their trash out in their yards and clean up around their houses. And it's my knowledge that we have a man that does this, but he's forgot my road. He's forgot a lot of roads down there. I rode down 2nd District the other day, and there's a guy got a pipeline running off in the creek where he's running his septic tank out of a camper. Now, I don't like to live by this, and I have stated this for 8 years while I'm in office, and I sort of laid down and let it get way out of hand. And somebody's not toting the ball. If it's not the building commissioner, then it's the people who's serving the summons to the people that he does, or the judge. And who do you think's dropping the ball? I'm tired of looking at trash. I'm tired of picking up people's trash when they throw it in my yard. I don't live in the nicest neighborhood as some people do, but I want to see mine look nice. And I think when we pay somebody a salary to do this, then it needs to be done. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Scotty Chambliss.
Scotty Chambliss, 1140 Cotton Harris Road. I wanted to speak about the item B, about the property that's located on Cotton Harris Road. They're wanting to change that from a C5 to a C1. There's residential property on both sides of that already. Dale and Susie Harris is on one side, and New Hope Estates is on the other side. I talked with Susie last night. She can't be here because her husband is ill, but she expressed her concerns that she didn't want that changed. The New Hope Estates people, some of those are here tonight. They've invested large dollars in their homes for a residential community. And I don't think it would be appropriate to change it to a C1 zoning. And on top of that, we just have already, with just the New Hope Estates coming in, our roads is narrow, tar and chip road part of it. We got coverage for bridges that they have to cross. It's one lane. We just don't have the infrastructure for any more development right in that area right at this time until something is upgraded or gotten better to accommodate any more development in the area. And I'm opposing that. So, and thank y'all for your time, and thank y'all for all the work that y'all do. I know you work hard on things.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak and I haven't called? Kind of need to fill out a form. Come on.
She got here like.
Yeah, I'll write it down.
Can I just come on up?
If you don't mind.
I'm not used to this, the way it's set up this time.
Sorry.
So I'm a resident in the New Hope Division. I'm here to speak about the C5 to C1. The main thing is just, of course, we're a residential community. We're trying to keep our community residential. We are concerned, I should say I'm concerned, but I think everybody would agree with me that we are concerned about the additional traffic that a commercial establishment would bring to the area. Also, the plot of land that is right there sits along a creek. And I don't know exactly what the issue is, but I know that there is a lot of issues with water, excess water, that's affecting the property and the bridge down the road from us. So that is another concern, that another development with improper water shedding issues is going to cause more problems with that area. And then also on top of it, the only driveway is right next to the entry to the subdivision, which again would cause like additional hazards for people driving or even just, walking their dogs or their kids through the neighborhood. So we ask that you please do not make
Zoning change.
zoning change. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll take the opportunity to speak.
Can I have your name, sir?
Austin
Last name?
Blythe, B-L-Y-T-H-E. So I am not a Cheatham County resident. I like to go to the Harpeth River to hike, and in the process of doing this, I found a carving from the Southeastern Ceremonial Complex from Mound Bottom that I spoke to Phil Hodges, the director of the Tennessee Division of Archaeology, and he had me take my assistant, or his assistant director, Aaron Dieterwolf, out to a site that has not actually been in the state record. In the process of doing this and trying to have a mindset of conservation, I also happened to discover 2 mounds that have not been actually surveyed by the state, and spoke to Graham Perry at the State Historical Preservation Office and was able to get those mounds verified. So I say this, that river is entirely sacred, and we are just now finding rock carvings that are dated probably to the date of carbon dating of about 16,000 years old. And we're finding burial mounds in this site, and I just ask if this zoning gets passed in any kind of capacity, that there is a very thorough and respected effort of seeing the original stewards of this land, because we have to continue to protect something like that, and it's sacred, and that's all I have to say. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, moving along, Mr. Brewer, you got us a jail update?
Nothing has changed on deadlines or as far as getting the new jail open. Still got the doors, working on that. We have been cutting openings. You can see our column here. Judge Maxey's become real fond of this column in his courtroom. It'll be coming out Thursday afternoon, hopefully, and it patch the ceiling Friday morning. But we're carrying on with getting this hallway open. That's all I got on. We are doing some stuff on the money that was approved, I think month before last, with another control room for JJ, some emergency power to some of the rooms that weren't included in the drawing. There's several little things. We're making progress. It's the same on getting open. Any questions on the jail?
All the doors are in place, right? So you just had to get those pieces for them on the doors?
We're having to replace 5 doors.
So 5 of them.
Yeah.
And all the stuff is in,
No, it's not in. That's what we're waiting on.
still waiting on it?
Yeah, it's an 8-week lead time on getting the doors in. That's the big kicker.
So we still.
Doors have been a problem for me on every project we got going now.
What, June 12th, is that it?
Yeah.
Around June.
As soon as I get a ship date, I can give you an exact one. I hate to put my name on a date that I've got no control over on that. Maintenance building, it's still there. It's moving at turtle speed, getting finished. Been a lot going on with VSO.
Go and ask about him.
I've got a new schedule update on it. We've got waiting on doors at the VSO. That's what I was talking. Rather than ordering and putting temporary doors up in the new part, there's 6 doors that are going to come in a couple of weeks, or it'll be the week of 5/4 when they're supposed to be here. What they're going to do is they're going to jump over and start working in Abby's office, and they're going to finish next week. They're going to finish phase 1. Then the week of 4/22, they'll start the demo in Abby's office, pulling out all the seals, and then the county clerk office week of 5/4, and then the door slabs arrive, and they'll go back and install the doors, and then they'll cut the opening and jump over and finish. There's no, in the overall scheme, it's not taking any time. It's costing BSO a couple of weeks on getting open, but rather than spending $2,500 to $2,500 on temporary doors, I didn't think that was better.
Let's don't do that.
That's what. So, and then the week of 5/11, they begin in the Register of Deeds. 5/18 begin trustee office. So The overall schedule's gonna stay the same, they're just jumping around on the phases.
Will they, finish on schedule?
Yeah, it's just, it's not in the order that they started out originally planning. They're gonna be in VSO a little longer because of the doors. Be a good time to start a door business. Make doors.
Especially for Cheatham County.
Right.
Is there a door in the register of deeds?
Think so?
Yeah, but the
somebody
doors
want
will be
me
in. Yeah, but that'll be in, they're gonna be in by the 5/11 when they get to register deeds. No, it's supposed to be in. I'm not guaranteeing anything on doors anymore. Any questions or?
Mr. Greer, I don't think you're over, but you've been around here. Are they finished with the roof on the courthouse, on the old courthouse?
I think so. I think they have, yeah. I haven't seen them in the last few days. That's some of the stuff we are working. We're repairing the ice damage in the jail now and working on getting the roof work where that doesn't happen again. There's several little things going on in the new jail. That's going to help us that we don't have to do once they get open.
That's one thing we all learned with this new jail is if you've got a metal roof, think about what's gonna happen when that ice slides
If it's
over.
over 412 pitch on it, you need to have something cheap. And one thing, something to think about, this roof out here on the parking lot beside where 911 was, where about, I saw watching a bunch of ice slide off that roof.
On the parking lot.
I wouldn't want to park my car under there. Last storm.
Anybody have any questions? All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, under new business, everybody in your packet, there was a resolution added to the agenda. Let me get to it. Has everybody had a chance to look at the resolution? It's the one resolution on the County Commission of Cheatham County on proposed amendments to the zoning resolution. Everybody had a chance to look at it? Anybody got any questions about it? All right, now here now, that'll be on the agenda Monday night. Building Department. We have two items. Mr. Wilkerson couldn't be here tonight, so I'm going to try to muddle through this. Mr. Mayor, I may have to get you to help me. Under the Building Department, item number one, we had deferred it to this month. The gentleman wasn't going to be in town, so we put it off to this month. Mr. Anthony Palladino requested a zone change from C5 to C1 for map 23, parcel 64.05. Property is located at 1028 Cotton Harris Road in the second voting district. Is not in the special flood hazard area. It was deferred for March 16th, 2026. Anybody have any questions or concerns? Mr. Palladino, would you like to step up if you want to and say something about? Yes, sir.
All right, I didn't prepare anything formal, but I just want to make clear exactly what I'm looking to do here. So I'm under contract to purchase this property. It's currently zoned C5, which is neighborhood mixed use, and I'm looking to rezone it to C1, which is general commercial. I understand there's some history on this property. There was another group before me that was looking to buy it and put in a rehab center that ultimately did not go through. In moving from C5 to C1, I am looking to build a flex space, which is a combination of office and warehouse buildings. It's usually about an 80-20 mix, so 80% warehouse, 20% office. Suits a wide range of businesses, everything from contractor garages to small businesses, professional services, really meant to be versatile. My intention with all that is this would actually be a less intense usage than how it's currently zoned. The C5 district, neighborhood mixed use, it is set right now, at least my understanding of it, it is set up to be built more for a neighborhood mixed-use commercial center. What that means is there's a 10-foot minimum setback, which means anything that's built there right now must be built 10 feet away from the road. I think that's kind of one of the glaring issues with the zoning here, is it just doesn't make sense for where the parcel is located. The other is that you could actually build a much more intense under C5, which is apartments and retail. Something you might see in West Nashville with retail on the bottom and several levels of apartments on top. That's the current zoning. Again, what I'm looking to do here is move it to general commercial. General commercial does allow a lot of different uses. This specifically is mine, which is flex space. I just wanted to kind of put that out there because I think there's some confusion at the planning session. I'm happy to answer any questions from the council. Thank you.
So the pictures that was going around, I'm sure, I think you'd email them out. It looked like maybe like 4 bays with a walk-through door in the front.
Yes.
Like a shop areas or storage with maybe an office.
Yes, I think these were some.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
You have more than one?
I have a handful here.
I don't need it. I've seen them, but I just see if anybody would like to look at
These are just conceptual.
what he has in mind. But right now it is zone C5, just like the subdivisions that was built up the street from it. They were built under C5. Both of them lots that C5 has been built is in the residential. I guess it worked under C5 high density. But I mean, I talked to a lot of the neighbors in the subdivision on both sides of the road. Talked to the family that lives next door, some people that lives down the street, which is downstream from it. And I haven't had anyone that I've actually spoke in favor of the rezone. But Mr. No, he's also the commissioner, represents that area. Have you had any? No. Right now with C5, it's set where you can't build anything further than 15 feet off the road. It's a pretty restrictive lot, but it is a narrow road going down through there. But like I say, I haven't talked to anyone in the area that's close to it. I haven't talked to anybody in that on the road that's in favor of this. But
I think, Tim, Mr. Chairman, that one of my concerns, or one of the concerns I think that a lot of people have with this is that if you do warehouse and all, you're gonna have vehicles coming in and out all the time. And this road is not really capable of taking that type of traffic and all. And another thing would be, how you gonna get into this place? Are you gonna put in a big bridge across that creek and all? Because you have got a pretty good terrain right there at one end.
Yes, we'd likely need to do some pretty significant infrastructure improvement there off the roadway. Typically with flex space, if it's being used by individual businesses, there are box trucks coming in and out. It would not be designed for any semis or tractor trailer vehicles, as that just wouldn't be supported by the road there. With box trucks, again, these type of businesses, it's actually usually lower traffic than putting in something like a quick service restaurant. Again, right now it is zoned, so you could put in quick service, like a Wendy's, McDonald's. This again, intention being a lot less intense.
You can't put in a Wendy's there unless they build it within 10 foot of the road.
Right.
Or 15 foot.
the way you proposed your picture that you sent around, would there be enough room on that lot to have a detention pond to hold the runoff of the parking lot?
Yes. Yeah, we've done preliminary civil studies. I haven't spent too much at this point, of course, being pre-rezone. But yes, the intention would be stormwater detention. I know that there's a creek that originates on the property, and there's setback requirements from there. But yes, that would ultimately be part of the development.
But if you build this and all, and just say, for instance, some door company comes in there and rent part of the space, they're not gonna be getting their doors in a small van. They're gonna be tractor trailers coming in there all the time, delivering to these places.
So that's typically restricted under the leases or under the governing covenants, which could also be put in from site plan approval. So you'd be able to limit that right off the bat of the type of vehicles that are allowed to access the property. But ultimately, you wouldn't design something that would even allow a tractor trailer to turn around in there. It's not a big enough site for that. It would obviously be fire code as far as turnaround goes, but nothing larger than that vehicle-wise. So in that instance, the door company would not be a suitable tenant because their vendors would not be able to access the site.
Anybody else have any questions?
Are we allowed to ask questions?
No. The ECD director would like to ask or speak.
What type of businesses are you looking to put in those spaces?
At a high level, very wide range. The market survey that we did says that there's high demand for this type of space with contractor garages more than anything. So individual businesses that just need a place to work on their trade craft. I think that's probably the number one type of tenant we would see. It's been used by really a wide variety. It could be anything from e-commerce to art studios to somebody just getting their business up and going. It's meant to be very flexible.
It would probably be like, Space Park in Nashville, Space Park North, Space Park South. If you're familiar with those and all, I'm very familiar with them and all, and I know the traffic that goes in and out of them places. It's unreal.
Anybody else? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, item 2, have Adam Prophet requesting a zone change from agricultural to E1.
That has been withdrawn.
He did?
Did you not get the email?
Apparently not. Okay. So item 2 has been withdrawn, sorry. All right, guys, I'm gonna move something on the, no, wait a minute. No, sorry. We're gonna, we had a request for Judge Maxey and I've lost my.
Dale Saunders.
Dale, Mr. Saunders, to come speak to us about some of the zoning, not zoning, but the issues we're having in the county with lots, trash and stuff. You want to come up? Give us maybe just an idea of what we're dealing with. We all get a list in the packet each month of what properties have been looked at, either served for court or just Dale working with them to try to get the places cleaned up. But he's going to give us kind of a rundown of what's been going on with it.
Okay. Well, a general process of what I do is I try to make contact with each and every person. At the bare minimum, if I can't make contact with them, I leave a door hanger and a business card on their door to try to make contact. Because we don't want to go in looking like we're rabid dogs trying to take over their property, because then we're going to get nothing done. With that, I leave the door tag to try to get contact with them, and about 50% of them will say, okay, I didn't know that existed within our county. We thought we were just farmers. And so I have to explain to them. Others are like, The best way I could put it is teenagers that never learned how to clean up their room. So when we do that, it kind of starts that process. Some dig their heels in even farther, and others comply. And so, you know, we're doing pretty well with that as well. And then there's even more that to say, I ain't doing nothing. And so we have to send out a letter, a certified letter, and as all of you deal with the US mail, sometimes, a lot of times, you just don't get those green cards back. And so we need to get some type of proof that they have received that information. And so that's why we send it regular mail and certified mail. So we normally wait until that comes back, and when that doesn't happen, then we can take them to court. And in doing so, I think the majority of the people in here don't know that I have a strict amount of, not really a strict amount of budget, because the mayor will work with me on that budget. But I have $10,000 each year to tear down houses and to take people to court. So in criminal court, that means if they're doing business on a property that they're not supposed to, that's criminal. If they're building without a permit, that's criminal. Everything else is considered civil. And so when I have to take somebody to civil court, that's $162.50 just to bring them before Judge Maxey. And so we continue that, and we try to get as many people in court as we can per year. I think last year we tore down one house that cost $5,800, and then the rest of it we used to bring people to civil court. And so we used up the complete amount for that. You know, if you want to increase my allowance on it, we can go up as much as you want. But I'm only one person for this county. In regards to Maplewood area, that's 1.1 square miles. 1.1 square miles of this county. I cover the entire county. Okay, that's a lot to do. Most of the time, I respond to each and every one of the complaint calls that I get within 48 hours, except for if you do it on a Thursday, which I'll respond to it on Monday. But I tackle each and every one of those within 48 hours. That's better than Davidson County, and that's better than Montgomery County. Okay, so I'm doing a lot with very little. We had certain areas that we had, like Highway 70, we had all those homes that were destroyed with a tornado. I was working with each and every one of those. I actually got over 12 of those homes tore down. Some of them we did, and some of them I encouraged the owners and the insurance company, which if anybody's dealt with an insurance company, you know their brains are fried. So that's a lot of work there. And I do work with Tim on several of them. Sometimes when we tear down a house, we find very questionable stuff. Very questionable stuff. Some of it, I'm sure Tim could attest to it, that it's scary that that's happening in our county. And so we're finding these properties, and we're trying to get them tore down and doing the best that we can. We're going straight to the limit of the law. Okay, I work with the judge. My codes court is actually a positive thing because half of them are getting cleaned up a lot quicker than they would if we're just constantly pushing them every week. So when they come in and they see there's consequences for their actions, they're getting cleaned up a lot quicker. There are some that are just stubborn, and I know the judge just takes them to the limit that he can. And so, any questions for anybody on anything that I do?
What's the length of time from the time you take the go over to the property with issues to the time it actually gets to codes court in most cases?
Most cases, it's right around 6 months. Yeah, I mean, it's a long time for something to get back from the U.S. Post Office because we can't take that next step. But you know, it does take some time. It's a timely process that has to go through. And a lot of instances that we're running into lately is that the grandparents are in the nursing home and a grandchild has the property and they're trashing it, but I've got to go after the actual homeowner first. So how many people think that you can get a certified letter to somebody in a nursing home? That's right. Can't get the letter. So we try to go after the person. I don't have the authority to go after them because they don't have to respond to anything that I say. I can go and try and knock on the door, but they're not going to answer. They're not going to do anything because they don't have to. So we try to encourage that each and every step we take. I try to have open communication with them. You know, there are processes that we go through, like responding to a call, complaint call about somebody, and we go and we visit that home and nobody answers. We can't find them, nobody answers. And so what else are we to do? There are things that are still wrapped up since I started here 7 years ago that are still wrapped up in Chancery Court. I can't do nothing. Who am I to serve? How am I to do it? So, you know, we're doing the best that we can with what we got. Any questions?
Mr. Dale, I guess it's just me. Mr. Dale, so the address at 1340 Maplewood, I've showed y'all. This is a mobile home that's, so it's, needs demo. In your budget, you have $10,000 to do these properties. Something like that right there, what would you think that would cost for y'all to demo? Are you at the point now that you can demo that property?
I've got quite a few that are ahead of that particular property, yes. Yeah, I don't see it within this budget year.
So
I'm not getting it done.
because of you don't have enough to cover all, how many properties do you have that's condemned that needs to be destroyed, demoed?
That need to be demoed?
That's on the list, it's already like in line in front of this.
Probably about 600. That's why I'm saying if you guys give me $1 million, that might put a 10% dent in it. But we got a lot of people that move in and then they disappear. Nowhere to be found.
Now, have y'all went to some of the properties where you actually got to go in the house and the folks was living in deplorable conditions that was harmful to the children and stuff?
Yes, and I have turned them in to the Children's Services. I even turned in certain homes, like the last one that I had to respond to, Poplar Ridge. Mm-hmm. And Adult Protective Services told me they're choosing to live like that, so they will not do nothing. So I'm fighting the state on a lot of stuff, but they're just not going to do it.
This is crazy.
Well, I know in the packet that y'all provide us every month, I just looked, there's 285 cases on that. I didn't go through to see what's in what. So, I mean, I know y'all are working, and we've seen a few in our area that's had some cleanup done. But I think the biggest thing is to the people that live close to these, it just seems like it takes forever. And I try to explain to people it's not an overnight
Yeah, it's not an overnight deal.
We've seen that on cases in the second district where, like you was talking about, a grandparent's involved that owns it, but a grandchild or something lives there with them, and it makes it a hard situation, but,
And even, you know, some of the properties are owned by people that live in a different state, and they just rent it out to these people. And so I can send the certified letters out there. I could even subpoena them to court, but 99% of them, we can't get served. If they're out of state, if they're out of county, we can't get them served. The sheriff tries to pull some strings to get some of them served, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But we try to do that. So it's, like I said, it's a long process.
Dale,
It's a
you
long process.
said y'all did demo one property last year with it was $5,800?
Well, I demoed more. That's because the person that bid on the demo would actually bid really low, and so I was able to get multiples there.
So this, with these property here, I know that you said this trailer is further down the list.
Mhm.
You know, one thing that I ran on when I ran for office was that I wanted to clean up the neighborhoods as much as possible. And I know you do a lot, and we appreciate that. But I want to know is what can we do to clean up some of these properties in the budget that we have for this? Or you did some, but like with this 10,000, what can you do to get some this year? Is that, you still have some left through,
Right,
the
and
end of
I've
fiscal
got
year?
a property that's on Bucksnort that has 2 trailers, abandoned trailers, right there that are part of that community, which I've hit Bucksnort pretty hard. You'll see that on the next report. But I had some grandparents that live on that road that were calling me saying that teenagers were having sex in those abandoned trailers. And so, you know, I'm gonna do my best to get it tore down. The bids were due today, and I only got 1 bid out of the 3 that I tried to get. And it's $5,800 to do both, or $2,800 to do both. So I've already tore down one last September, October, and I'll get this one done, and then all the little civil cases that are $162.50 apiece to bring to court.
so when you pay out of your budget to have one tore down, you go then and put a lien on that property?
Yes, and since I've been here for 7 years, we've had 2 liens paid, and that's it. And that goes all back into the general fund. That doesn't go back into my fund.
Dale, do we have any, and I don't know if this is a better question for you or Judge Maxey. I know as far as the county, workers working in the county, working for the county, there's a liability problem going in to clean the property up. But you can have volunteers do it. Do we have anything like that in works that we can have volunteers go and help? Not just folks who just don't care, but like our elderly folks who might need assistance.
I've actually had tried the route of getting some churches, some local churches around here to help out, some different community groups, and we were only successful at one place, and that was on Poplar Ridge, and it was an older lady. I think the address 1180 or 12 something. Yeah, that was a couple of years ago. That was the only success we had in volunteers coming to help clean up.
So even if we was to be able to, with some of the funds, to put dumpsters in some of the neighborhoods to do it, most folks would, from what Miss Betty had told me, that most folks that they don't even care about the property wouldn't put the stuff in the dumpster if it's right there.
Actually, I talked to
Unless you had
Franklin.
volunteers.
Yeah, I talked to Franklin about that before, and he said this county did it twice before, and the county ended up having to pay a lot more than just the dumpster fee, because people were putting toxic chemicals and tires and paint and all kinds of other stuff within those containers. And so, you know, they filled them up with all that stuff.
I got one last question. What, you said that, you told me that Old Higdon Road is the worst area of all of them. What's
That
your
is
top two?
one of the worst areas. I've got, and I do plan on going back to Maplewood area because we have several in court already from the Maplewood area. And so I was waiting for one or two more to go out of court, and then we can hit that area again. But Old Higdon is bad with the side roads, Trailwood Court, and then I forget the other name of that road. But that area, I've got like 12, 15 properties written up on Dry Creek. That's on my next list to send to court. Several of them I'd like to tear down, but we got one property that's got 2 campers that was hit by the tornado there, and 3 outbuildings that were hit by it, and then we've got 3 campers that are set up with people living in them on the backside, which is kind of hard to prove in court. But they have all that, plus the damage of the house, which they won't let me inside the house. So I don't know what it looks like in there. But that's one of the other areas. And then we have, I'm still working on 70 with some houses. There's 2 of them that look like they're just going to fall into the road, and I'm dealing with a family trust, which you can't go after any individual with a family trust. So I don't know what we can do, but I'm trying. And that's one of the other houses I'm going to have one of my contractors look at, tearing it down. But I'm sure you've seen it. There's an old store, and then there's a house that's right next to it, and it's maybe 5 feet off the road, and it just looks like it's going to go straight to the road.
People live in it?
No. No.
Hey, let me ask you something. When you pull up on a site like that, and just use for example, say there's 10 junk cars sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the problem. 10 junk cars sitting there, been there forever, ain't never run, ain't gonna run. Can those cars, can those automobiles, can they become county property?
No. No. There's no law that states that. I mean, we could write somebody up for it, try to find.
If you take 10 cars sitting there, you take 10 junk cars sitting there at $200 a pop. If that's county money, that's $2,000.
Oh, the scrap rate right now is right around 390.
But they're not the county's cars.
But
They're
they're
the
not,
homeowners'
yeah.
cars.
I know it, but I'm saying the money,
they're-
use the money off of the automobiles, use the money off the automobiles to clean the place up.
We can't take them. I have no legal right to take them.
Just because we don't want to live a certain way doesn't mean everybody else has to live a certain way.
Right.
I mean, I don't think we have to, I agree, trash, but when we start saying everybody's cars have to go, I just think we're nitpicking too much. I don't want to live with 10 cars in my yard, but if I wanted to, I don't think you need to come tell me I can't.
I will tell you right up front that I do not go after onesies, what I call onesies.
Go after
If they're
what?
onesies, if they just got one vehicle that's, you know, kind of junk, or it's a project car, I don't normally go after them. I normally go after people that have 2 or more.
Dale, if they have a bunch of cars, aren't they all supposed to be titled and
Titled and operational. And I have the right to ask them to go and turn it on and pull forward and pull back. and then that's what's determined as operational. I can ask them to do that, but
And I understand where you're coming from, I see that side of it as well, but also, most of the times when he's dealing with something like that, dilapidated house fell down, blah, 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 there's most of the time, there's 8 or 10, or there's something sitting around there that could be of value.
if you go down Old Higdon, you'll see that there's a couple of properties that I have written up that's got maybe 30 junk cars on it.
There you go, that's a lot of money.
So,
That's a lot of
but
money.
we can't take them, just like the sheriff can't take them. There's no law. There's no law for it.
They can turn them into cars for kids, remember that?
Again, I see if it's trash, like some of the pictures, I know, there's just trash falling out the windows and everywhere. But it's just really hard to say, you must live the way that I think you have to live.
Well, I can tell you that I live in Hickory Hills condos, and if we have our property in front of my condo all messed up, we're gonna get in trouble. Now, if I'm a neighbor and I'm worried about my property value, I want the property next to me to have respect for me and the other neighbors. And yes, you can live like you wanna live, but if you're causing like rats or whatever, and it's causing problems with the neighbors and their property taxes, and their property value's gone down because some way somebody else chooses to live, then, like I said, I want folks to just respect their neighbors. Like what Miss Betty said, Miss Betty has been living out there since the early 70s, I believe. And it was a real nice little area, and it just got worse and worse. We have this mobile home out there. I'd like to see some of this stuff, addressed. And, I know with the, like on Highway 12, people would drop trash and be on Highway 12. I'm in the 1st District. I'll call the sheriff next day, 2 days. We have folks out there cleaning that up because we want our county to look good. And,
I agree.
And I know folks have the right to live what they want to live, but I also worry about the endangerment of elderly folks and our children who are living in deplorable conditions, and what can we do about it to help them?
I think that's a
protect
whole
them?
different issue, and yes, we
But
should.
they're living in homes where, they're hoarders or whatever, and they got all this trash, and I know that Dale does a great job going around doing with it, but like when I get these complaints, that's why I asked them to come and judge, just to see what are we doing and how are we affecting this to help folks to respect, just respect your neighbor's stuff. Just like we got a couple of cars in my condo, and they made them tag them, so they didn't have their stickers tags on, and they got in trouble on it. But just, my whole point is just that I just, like I said, you can live like you want to live, but I think that we should respect our property owners and stuff that live beside them. If you got 10, 15 cars, and some of them on blocks, then something needs to be done about that. And that's what his job is, and to turn it over to the judge and how we enforce it.
Amen.
I looked on the list of the area David's talking about, Maplewood. Looks like you've got 10 or 11 properties on that,
And it's
on that
due
list. I mean, it's,
within, by the middle of next month, for me to do another round, another blitz on it.
I mean, and it's not just here. I think every county. You ride around enough, and I like to ride. Don't it, Bill? Or Power. You're gonna see it, and
I can think of one right now coming out of Cumberland City. It's a state highway, and there's a black Chevy Impala that's been sitting on the side of the road in, I guess that would be Stewart County. It's been sitting on the side of a state road, I know, for 5 years.
Well, let me tell you something. I was on vacation with my fiance at the time, and we were in Gatlinburg. And the famous little BMW that's there. I checked it out while I was there, just walking the street, and that thing is not plated, it's not operational, and it's not doing anything. And it's one of the most notarized vehicles
It's
in the
famous.
state.
Did you put a door tag on it?
No. But
And I'm pretty sure you're probably familiar with one of my neighbors in my area.
Which one?
Lady who chooses to live in her vehicle instead of her house, and her house is falling apart. The dogs,
Yes, and-
the dogs maintain the house as a residency.
Yes.
She stays in the car.
But the car is plated and it's operational. The other vehicle, I got her to put into the shed that she bought. And she does not allow me access to the house.
No.
So I can't do anything.
Well, I could talk a lot about trash, because we've got one on Peter Pond Road that I've been trying to get y'all cleaned up, but I'm gonna go a little different.
It's been in court.
I'm gonna go a little different direction now.
Okay?
The law says you cannot live in a camper.
That's right. There's only 3 or 4 that are on Chapmansboro Road.
Okay.
That you can.
There's a there's a bus on the property on Peter Pond Road. There's a guy living in it.
Yeah,
And there's
and I
a little
can,
shack out front, looks like an old camper, old pop-up camper. There's a guy living in it. So why can we not get those 2 people out of those?
I cannot catch them living in there.
Well, what you've got to do, you don't go out there at 12 o'clock in the daytime when they're working up here to places that make trusses. You go out there at night and you take a sheriff's deputy with you, and when they come running out of there like little rats, then you know they're living there. Now, that's the way you can do your job.
So if I'm looking right, I don't want to say the address. It says in court criminal. That's the only one I see on Peter Pond.
Yes.
So you have them in court,
Yes.
and it's in the process of, let's see, it's, that's been in court, or it's been open since 7/9 of 24. That don't mean it's been in court that long, that just means, I guess that's when you cited them or whatever.
So he's been in court for, I don't know how long. I think he had a failure to appear at one point.
But
John Britton.
does he want?
Well, what they do, I mean, well, you know what they do. They go out there and they stir stuff around and move a little, and then they'll take out one, they'll
Well, his
bring.
particular, he complains like, I don't have the money to go to Landry, so I've talked to Mike Russell, I give them vouchers. If I really need
I know you know that.
They can't pay the dump fee, I'll give them vouchers, take the money. Of course, Mike, there could be issues with that, and Mike brought that, what if they bring somebody else's trash too? I don't know.
Right now, they got a truck that won't run, and it's loaded down with trash. I don't know. I'm not sure what that deal's about now. I guess they think to get it off the ground.
He's coming to Fort Hill, or he's supposed to come to Fort Hill,
Judge, I remember, I lose track of time, but it's been a few years ago. You had somebody come in, I think from Davidson County, to talk to us about how tough it is, even in Davidson County,
Judge Todd,
to really do anything. You can't just throw someone in jail because they don't clean up.
Well,
It's not so easy.
it's a real long road between the 20 and 40 have to do a show cause, or they should not be held in contempt to charge with contempt. Somebody's gotta come in and say, they have the ability to do this, they're just not doing it. You've got, you got people that have trash and no way to haul it off, or nobody to help them haul it off. You've got older people, Bill and Walter, right past the high school, there are 3 properties that, it's just totally trashed. All 3 properties are rental properties.
talking about the one that looks like there's a yard sale that's been going on for 6 months?
Two of the properties are owned by the same landlord, and we've had that landlord in court prior because we had issues with that landlord. And the landlord came in and said, you gotta clean this place up, and they did. So that particular case went away. Now we've got new rentals that are trashing the property worse than before. And the yard sale guy, I had the landlord come to court to do an eviction just 6 weeks ago. He showed me the letter for Dale. I said, I've got this letter. I said, tell codes that I granted your eviction. Granting the eviction is one thing. Getting them off the property is something else. They got 10 days to get off the property once they're evicted. If they don't, it's up to the landlord, the landowner, to come in and clean the property up. This particular landlord is an older couple. They're not physically able, and they probably can't afford it. It's going to take several dumpsters to go in. And it's
I'm estimating about 4 dumpsters. And so we were waiting on the writ order. And the writ order has been served. So they have 2 more days to get off of there. But that process, we've been working on that one since probably they moved in. 1 week after they moved in, I had sent the letters and had started the process and started talking to the actual owners, which the owners were kind of difficult to get to because they were borderline nursing home and didn't quite understand a lot of stuff. So there was a lot of explanation going on, and I think his wife is 86 and he's 92. And mobility is a big time issue. That one's been a difficult case.
I will say that those people that are coming to court, everybody is making progress to a certain extent. Some are moving faster than others. You know, the best case scenario, you come here and say, hey, you get this property cleaned up, I'll see you next month. They come in next month, and they're almost there. I said, okay, finish, I'll see you next month. They come in, the property's clean, we get rid of the case. But the case where you got a bunch of cars, there's one particular guy in particular that's got all these cars in his yard, and he's one of those that digs his heels in. And he came in one day to court, and he had every one of those vehicles tagged, just for spite, in my opinion.
But did they run and move? Did they run and move though?
Well, who knows? Who knows?
They moved at the time, because I think he had like 10 battery chargers out there charging the batteries and trying to get them to move, and they were operational enough to where they could do it. If they went out on the road, I would think they wouldn't get a mile before they break down. That particular gentleman is going to be due back in court because I'm about to write him up again, or I've written him up again, and have sent out the letter. I finally got the green card back from the U.S. mail, and he will be added to my list of civil.
You know, that property that Judge is talking about, that's pretty bad, but I think the one at Old Larson City Road and Mosley Ferry is a lot worse than that, the bird woman. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
This is, I think you're talking about the one with the miniature horse that's in the,
Yeah, they got animal control coming, taking it.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's in court with you, yeah, and it's terrible, no doubt about there.
She's got until next week, I think, to come up with a $90,000 bond to pay for it. And that's all in circuit court.
I mean, it's terrible.
And you get people, not to say anything in blocking, but you got people with mental health issues
They said she had dead parakeets and birds in her freezer. They're just, the parrots and everything just all over the house. You know, wasn't in cages and nothing, so you can imagine the mess it was.
I have not seen that one.
Yeah, you go by down there to Old Larson City Road and Mosley Ferry.
Well, you've made a comment there. A lot of these places, you've got the green light, you just don't have the money or the manpower or the backbone to get this done.
I've got the backbone.
Where's the
I've got
backbone?
plenty of it.
Who's the backbone? Where's the backbone?
I have the backbone in order to do it.
I'm talking about manually.
Manually? No.
Okay.
I've got
that
one
man right there's
contractor
got a group of
response.
people that needs to be put to work.
Then you're dealing with the liability issue.
They pick up trash on the side of the road.
As the lawyer.
They pick up trash on the side of the road every day. Trash is trash.
Not past 15 feet.
Trash is trash.
Not past 15 feet.
Put them to work.
I would like to see that if it's legal, but I mean, Michael will tell you that you're looking at all sorts of.
Can't do that. Not in 2026. We can't do that.
And a lot of the issues that we have, I could probably trace it all the way back to 1995 when the zoning laws were put into place in our county. Maplewood, for example, is all zoned ag. So you can have that as single wides all day long, and even if we change the zoning today, which I don't even know if we could legally do that, they could still be grandfathered in. So you're just gonna get single wides, older single wides in. I think the state is now up to nothing older than 1989. So we can't have anybody bring in anything that's older than 1989. But we've got some trailers there, probably 1940, that are sitting there. And people are still living in those.
Mr. Block? I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's crazy, because as an old firefighter, that's just a death coffin to happen at any time. At any time. Because there ain't nothing that's going to withstand a fire and something like that.
You got people, again, that dig their heels in and say, this is my property, it's a free country, I can do whatever I want to. And you gotta say, no, it's not a free country. You may think it's a free country, you can't do with your property what you think you ought to. There are certain rules you got to follow. So you deal with that mentality a lot too.
Now, Judge, have you had, like, asked him about the volunteers, but have you ever dealt with any folks who could help, like volunteer groups that would help, like the elderly couple we talked about and stuff, that could help them to clean the property up?
I don't know a volunteer organization that would come and do that. You can't do public service work because of the same issue. If they get hurt, then the county is told to go and clean that property up. If they get bit by a snake or step on a nail or whatever, the county's going to be liable.
Even if they're volunteer?
Yeah. Not the volunteer.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Volunteer, I know the county, there's a liability issue, but if you had a volunteer group who said they want environmental issues and stuff, we want to help this elderly couple. Because there's folks who can clean their property up, and then there's folks like this, like you're talking about, that's, they physically can't. But if they would probably accept some help if somebody would help them to clean that property up.
I had a lady out on Randy Road, her great-grandson, when trashing the property. So I brought him over. This guy's been to jail 7 times. And I let him out of jail, so clean the property up. I said, court, hey, clean the property up. He's not done anything. So he goes back to jail. Finally, he gets the message, he cleans the property up. He gets out of jail, he thinks he's clear. Fortunately, I continued his case till November, just to make sure. And sure enough, he's jumped it up again. So he's coming back next week.
Yeah, he's on his way back.
How does the third district do it? I mean, as far as I know, Pleasant View is in Cheatham County, but they've got 7 cases compared to 64 in the 2nd district. What do y'all do over at BJ?
We're living right.
I think your codes are different or something and all for Pleasant View.
That I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But you're right. I check it all the time. There's not much in the 3rd district, and I don't really get any phone calls. But I think the most I've ever gotten phone calls about in the 3rd district was asking about a few county roads, and it's been about it.
I mean, every time we get it and all, you got 7, 6, 5.
I will say this, and this is probably not real popular with the county commercial areas. This is one man right here. In my opinion, there needs to be another day. Because he's run ragged.
From what I've seen, you need about 10 of them.
And really, and if I put these cases off month by month by month to see what kind of progress they're making, not only does he have to deal with new cases, but he goes out and he takes pictures of the progress that they've made in that particular month. So he's working.
Mr. Blunt, if he pays a contractor to tear a place down, and then eventually somebody pays that lien on the property, could we not could the commission pass where that money goes right back in the fund to tear more houses down? Just, if we put a certain amount in there, as that money came back,
I think
go into him.
You could probably provide that in the budget that sort of replenishes.
Yeah.
The problem is it just doesn't happen very often.
Right.
There's not much money coming in that way.
But here's 7 years. Here's what you get into. A lien that you place on the property is going to be an inferior lien to anything else that's already.
Right.
Yeah, that's
my understanding, at least it was years ago, you could not enforce that lien until the property was transferred to somebody
Right.
else.
We're the bottom tier of the lien recovery, if you want to put it that way. The banks come first, the mortgage company comes second, taxes come next, county and state, and then we're at the bottom. And so there's been a couple of properties that we didn't get 10 cents because all the money was taken by everybody else.
Yeah, the properties that tend to have this problem are not particularly valuable properties, and they oftentimes are in default on a mortgage, and there are often a lot of liens in front of the county's lien. So it said years ago that, yeah, you can file a lien, but don't count on collecting. It's just not the experience.
Yeah, we're told that in every one of our classes. You know, don't expect anything coming from any lien. And so when we do, we jump up and down and say yeehaw. But other than that, it's just unexpected.
All right, anybody else got anything?
I just want to end with this. I know anybody else have more questions. I really appreciate Judge Maxey coming and just talking to us about codes. We started the codes court about, 2 years ago, Mayor? 3 years ago? And I appreciate what you're doing and trying to enforce some of this and finding some folks and one person putting them in the jail. And then what you're doing, Dale, with the properties and stuff. And you know, when I have folks call me and ask me about it, that's why I wanted y'all to come and just talk about what the process is and what's going on with it, how we can improve it, and, you know, to make it better for folks who's living next to these properties and stuff, or folks who's elderly that might need assistance.
And, you know, like I stated on my first year that I was here, that the mayor hired me. I'm open to any ride-alongs you want to go because I'm always looking for another target to get bit by a dog or have somebody chase off the property. You guys can ride along with me at any point in time.
Did you get a call
No, I
today
don't do that.
about somebody with an abandoned hot tub on the property?
No, not yet.
Well, anytime you wanna come out on Big Pond Road about 9 o'clock at night and bring the sheriff with you, or deputy and all, I'll be glad to ride with you down there, and we're gonna see who comes out of those two places.
Mr. No, did you hear us say they've got that property owner in court?
I did the last time, but he called me. I took care of it the same day. So I don't know why he keeps telling me to go back out there. You called me about the warrant, I got the warrant, took care of it the same day.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the guy living in it.
Well, I don't have anything to do with him living there, but the judge just said he went to court, he's coming back next week. The one on Peter Pond.
But that's two separate issues, I think, Tim. One is he's trashed the place, and the other one is he's breaking the law by living in a camper that he shouldn't be living in. Now, is that two different
The camper
cases?
is gone, I believe.
It's all in the same warrant. I don't know what happened when it
The
goes.
bus is still there, but I can't prove that he's living in it. There's no toilet, there's no bed, there's no nothing in it. I mean, there's, half the seats are gone, so it doesn't appear like he's living in it.
Because on the list that we get, and where it's going, it's in court, it says living in a camper, trash, debris, and junk. So I mean, all of that will come up in court when we have them there?
Yes.
And one woman and guy that was living in the camper are gone, and the camper's gone too. We saw that in the last pictures, I think. I'm pretty sure.
I got an update picture if you want to see. The bus is still there.
Yeah, the bus is still there.
And the old,
And he's been told he's got to move.
and the old box that the other guy's living in is still there. And there's lights on them in them at night, so that tells me that they're not burning electricity for no reason.
Well, you can't say that because we got a lot of people that are burning electricity just to make sure nobody breaks into the garage.
We sure appreciate y'all coming though. And I want to say I appreciate Dave, Franklin, who got me all the pictures and information and stuff, you know, so that we could look at it and stuff and share it. We appreciate what you do, and I just hope that we can do better as far as some of the properties and stuff, as far as getting them done. But I appreciate the judge and the codes court and what he does to take care of some of these issues.
Mr. Judge, I see you holding something in your hand. Is that all warrants from Codes Court? So you're a little busy. You're a little busy with it.
And that's once a month?
Yes.
All right. Anything else?
I will say on another note, I'm proud to say we're the only county in the state that has monkey bars in the courtroom.
That's a new jail cell.
I thought you had strippers coming in.
All right, let's moving on. Mercy Services. We're going to move up Mercy Services because we've had a gentleman sitting here waiting on us.
I got the chairman of the 911 board, Brian Biggs, which is also currently the chair of the board. That's also served in Mercy Services for more than 30 years, but also has knowledge of our current radio system to be able to explain to you guys and gals as to why we are having to make some changes. So I'll let him speak to that.
Yep. Our current radio system, which is the radios that the police and fire and EMS and EMA use in our county, is 21 years old. The current system we're on is 21 years, and our current radio vendor is getting out of the emergency services portion of their business. They're wanting to scale back and semi-retire and go into not the emergency service side of the business. So with that being said, they currently own the system we're on. We pay them a airtime usage fee. 911 covers that cost every year for the past 21 years. And our radio system that we're on, we went on to it. It was funded completely. I'd say in this county, it was probably 80, 90% of it was covered through our Homeland Security District funds. And they built out the towers. They built out didn't build the towers in Cheatham County. We paid for them through 911 funds. But the system itself was built out in Cheatham County, and we was able to purchase radios back then with the District 7 Homeland Security funds. Our current system we're on, we are the last county to still be on this system full-time. There's still some other counties that are transitioning over from different systems off of that system. They're partially still on it, but we're the only county that is still running fully on that system. There's no more, the system's so old you can't get new parts for it. They're having to borrow parts from their old towers that they've taken down, or old systems that they've taken out of service. So we're having to use used parts if something does happen. So anyways, long story short, in 2025, I notified as the chairman of the 911 board that we would be making a change, going to a system. It's a state of Tennessee system. It's called TACN, which is the Tennessee Advanced Communications Network. It is owned and operated by the state of Tennessee, and currently we have their equipment, and it's operational in our county for the past 6 or 7 years. It's been on our Kingston Springs Tower and our Petway Tower, and they are taking they have funds allocated to add 2 more towers in Cheatham County by spring of 27. With this move, it will save the county 911, because we will not have to pay for airtime usage under the current law that the state has, because there is state legislation that allows emergency services to be on it at a 0 cost per airtime use at this time. Could be a possibility down the road sometime that state legislators could put a fee to that, but right now it's set at 0. But it's a lot cheaper for us at the 911 level for sure, and we'll be out of the paying the high price maintenance if something goes wrong on the current system we're on, and the maintenance fees and all that we're currently using. With that being said, there is not any funds to purchase the radios, so each agency will be responsible for purchasing their own radios to talk on the system. So I'll take any questions anybody might have.
So the system you put in the 911 is Motorola brand?
Yeah, I should have brought that up. The current system that TACN is on, it is a Motorola system, which means it's a brand. It's kind of like I'll use cars because I love cars. It's kind of like a Chevrolet, and then there's other options that are Ford brands. But what they have is a Chevrolet brand, and that is correct. It is a Motorola system. 911, we just a few months ago or last month, we did approve to purchase. We have to upgrade our consoles in our center, which is don't picture console as a piece of furniture. Console is our system that our screens see, that our operators see, and there's a radio room in our back that connects and ties all of the consoles together that makes the system work for our center to be able to talk to the folks outside. We did in our center purchase a Motorola system there as well. There is other options out there for us, but we felt it was important and for the 911 board to stay with the same type system that's will connect with the network, and without having finger pointing. I didn't want to have a Chevrolet, brand new Chevrolet truck with a Ford motor in it and trying to see who's going to cover the warranty. It's going to be finger pointing. So I wanted to stick with the same brand that was out there.
Brian,
Sure.
what do you need from this body?
I'm just kind of giving you questions because I do know that the Sheriff's Department, your county EMA and your county EMS is going to be probably coming to you with a large lump sum of budget requests in their budget probably in this year. So I just wanted to come to you and give you a little bit of heads up in history of why we're having to do what we're having to do. There's been a lot of things in the community that the 911 is forcing emergency services to do this, and we're not paying. We don't have the money to do that. We have spent a lot of money. We've done well over our years. We built 2 towers in this county for emergency services. We have put airtime use for the past 21 years into this county for emergency services. We have remodeled 2 centers in the county buildings, and we're very thankful that the county government does provide us a place to house our dispatchers. and funds our dispatchers, majority of them. But we don't have the money to buy the radios, is the bottom line. So
What's the average cost for a mobile radio and a portable radio?
I'm not a vendor.
It just depends, because there's several variations. You know, obviously, they're on state contract pricing, but the more pieces of equipment that's on the order to the company, the cheaper the price. So, you know, we potentially are looking at getting another 5% at a minimum on top of a discount of the state contract pricing, and depending on if we can partner with the town of Ashland City is looking hard at going to Motorola as well, that if they get on board, then that's more radios to replace in one order, then that's more of a discount. We could get upwards to possibly 7 or 8% off of the state contractor pricing. So it just, you really can't price them at a one-off, because if you do it as a one-off, it's gonna look really expensive as compared if you're buying 400 portable radios. You know what I'm saying? So, but
The more you buy, the cheaper they get.
correct.
Yep. Any more questions?
With your 911, and this may be, you don't have anything to do with this, but if a tornado comes through, do y'all have the capabilities to set off like tornado sirens? I know Pleasantview has tornado sirens. I don't know about
Ashland City does, I'm gonna switch hats a minute, I'll put on my fire department.
Yeah.
Ashland City does have, the capability of doing that through the National Weather Service, because we have tornado sirens throughout Ashland City, but 911, don't activate that. It's done pretty much now, the National Weather Service activates that whenever they put a warning out for a specific area.
Because I've heard some people in Pleasantview say, like, when they get a tornado, you know, something's around us, theirs may not go off. What's the difference in theirs and Ashland City?
I'm not familiar with that. I know they have one, but I don't know that it's set up through the National Weather Service automatic alerting. I'm not sure.
I got you.
Any more questions?
So what's the price on this?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. A lot for the county, because there's a lot of radios.
It'll be a big one.
It's going to be. The whole county's going to be, but it's going to be better for, I mean, we was fortunate 21 years ago, and Chief Patterson from Montgomery County Sheriff's Department has went on before us, left now, passed away. Was a very, very instrumental guy in the district to convince the Homeland Security District to put all their funding for a few years into that, and we did not have to buy any of the radios. So that was a huge saving back then. And obviously we've had to replace some and upgrade some over the years. But it is a sticker shock to us now when you didn't have to buy radios 21 years ago at 400 at a time or whatever we're buying, to have to do it now. So
But you're looking at potentially another 15 to 30 year investment.
yeah.
The state's put billions of dollars into this interoperability type system, and it's just not going to go away. Fortunate for us in EMS, the governor put out, I call it free governor money. It's kind of like a TACN grant. Like every 911 transport ambulance in the state got a Motorola radio, which I have 8 ambulances. They didn't put it in any of my support vehicles or in any of my stations, but just the ambulances alone was about $140,000, and that's 8 ambulances. But we're already that much further than we were. But when it's all said and done with, if another catastrophic event like a 100-year flood comes back of 2010, then hopefully we're all on this system by that time, that anybody that comes to Cheatham County or anywhere else that we go to provide mutual aid, we don't have to get a radio from anybody, nor do they got to get a radio from us. The concept is we can all talk.
Yep,
Like we just switch to, a unified channel and everybody can talk to it, which we did not have those capabilities in 2010. There was a little bit of that, but there was more like county provided cash cell phones that you could just call Verizon to Verizon when that was a thing. That's what a lot of people used, or you just didn't have anything. So it's definitely come a long way, and that's one of the things when it comes to the tagging system. To be eligible is you have to be interoperable. You have to be able to talk to everybody. So Edwin, for instance, will have the ability to pick his radio up and talk to TEMA directly from his vehicle. He does not have that capability right now.
And the current system we're on is just the 7 counties in our district, in our Homeland Security District, which is pretty much Cheatham, Robertson, Montgomery, Dixon, Humphrey, Stewart, and Houston. So that's all the 7 that's on it. So, and now we can't talk to any of them. They've all already left the system. We're the
We
only
can't, yeah, we can't, like my ambulances can talk to Robertson County right now, but that's it. Soon I'll be able to talk to Montgomery County because they have since gotten on the system. Just the state hasn't uploaded the channels on my radio.
You can't talk to them on your old system. They've
No,
already left it, yeah.
on the 800 megahertz system, so.
Brian, is there still any of that Homeland Security money flowing down? I know it's been getting less and less and less each year.
It has. The further we get away from the people making decisions of 9/11, the money gets less. Just to be honest. But no, there's not that kind of funding. But there is still some that comes to the county. Not that much.
This will be something that's coming to us pretty soon because it's going to implement it in January.
Yes, sir. Our target goal right now is to go in effect, go live January 4th, 2027. That'll give almost, that will be almost an 18-month notice that 911 gave all entities.
All right, do you have any questions?
I asked him to come speak just so he would be more well versed on the current system and the age of it and the ins and outs. I mean, I knew a lot of it, but he obviously knew more than I did. So I wanted him to kind of come educate all of you guys and gals as to why you're going to see this during budget time as to why it is what it is. But there's some stipulations and things there that I think that will be good. But I really wanted him to come by and speak so that way you guys were informed well in advance.
And for those of you that hear it from your other constituents out there, from your other fire departments and cities and counties, you know, that you can say that you have been a little bit aware of it, and they have been too, I promise you.
All right, I appreciate you.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Is that good, Mayor?
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move to budget.
Thank you, Chairman. The Budget Committee did meet this afternoon, and several things to bring to your attention tonight and bring to the Commission. All of our amendments and items that we're bringing to you are all passed 4-0 with one absent today. First item is under County General. The first item is $8,163.75. Transfer reserve funds from the General Sessions Data Processing Reserve to cover data processing services and to purchase 5 laptops for circuit and General Sessions court offices. Item number 2 is South Cheatham Library with $8,500. This is to transfer the maintenance of effort funds from the town of Kingston Springs into the current operating budget. Next item is the Sheriff's Department, $8,645. Transfer funds received from the Tennessee Highway Safety Office Driving Under the Influence grant to reimburse for payroll. Next item, also the Sheriff's Department, $16,360. Transfer funds received from the Tennessee Highway Safety Office Network Coordinator grant to reimburse for equipment. Ambulance Emergency Medical Services, $21,600. This would transfer EMS training supplement funds from the state of Tennessee to pay eligible employees training pay supplements. And the last part of Section 1 is social, cultural, and recreational projects, $18,523.75. This would transfer the funds from the county general fund balance to pay architect fees associated with the new South Cheatham Library in Kingston Springs. Any question on any of those? Moving along to item number, I'll make sure this is also part of that. Yeah, some was just in the Budget Committee. Okay, now we move on to item number 2, solid waste sanitation, $19,158. This will transfer funds from the solid waste fund balance to purchase 2 35-yard recycle roll-off containers. Any questions on the solid waste expense? Moving along to item number 3, highway, $287,061.75. This will transfer funds from highway fund balance for contracted services. And then the second item, also under highway, is $132,219.11. This would transfer unused budgeted funds for contracted services, liquid asphalt, and equipment and machinery parts needed. Any questions on those? Item number 4, vehicles. $245,043.99, transfer from other capital project vehicles fund balance to purchase an ambulance and also the equipment for the ambulance. Any questions on that, item 4? Item number 5, general purpose school. $270,000. This would transfer funds from the general purpose school fund balance to purchase walk-in coolers for Harpeth High School and Sycamore High School. Item number 6, general purpose school and education capital projects, $1 million. And this is to transfer funds from general purpose school fund balance for CCCHS track at the Cheatham County Central High School for $1 million. We did put a stipulation on this that we would get information. No one was available from the school board when we met this afternoon, but that would be contingent upon either someone here tonight, I don't think anyone's here from the school system, or definitely be here by next week, or this would be tabled or deferred. Okay. Item number 7, surplus county general. Items of 10 round folding tables with cart, approximately 25 years old, are in bad shape and have reached the end of life. 4 items, 4 rotating DVD racks. Other information, approximately 12 years old and decent shape, no longer have a use for them. And then item number 3 in the surplus list this month, 2 fabric reception chairs, approximately 25 years old, stained, and have reached the end of life. Any questions on the surplus? All right, then we also discussed and passed on to the full commission tonight, and for next week's session, if y'all move it forward, would be some revisions to increase the threshold over which quotes are required for bids or purchasing. In a purchase order number must be obtained for purchases of $1,000 or more per vendor per month for all departments. In section number 8, bids and quotations, item number 1, purchasing items less than $5,000 may be done by department heads using their discretion to ensure the best interest of the county is maintained. Number 2, oral telephone quotes. 3 oral quotes shall be secured for purchases exceeding $5,000 but less than $10,000. And number 3, written quotes. 3 written quotes shall be secured for all purchases exceeding $10,000 but less than $25,000. These written quotes may be in the form of vendor letterhead, via email, or online pricing. In addition, the following will be added: when an item under an existing maintenance contract needs replacement, the item may be replaced with that same vendor without obtaining additional quotes. Also, fuel will be added to items exempt from purchase orders. Again, we did make this recommendation after review, and of course, Sandrine, with the budget director, was there, recommended 4-0 passage on that with 1 absent.
Mr. Mayor, would
Yes.
that run us into any conflicts with the state audit on this? With those
Oh, no, we can't go beyond state guidelines. This is allowed in the state, we wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah, so no, we're good on that. We've been under for some time, and it creates a bunch of POs that have to be created for something under $1,000, and you know, it just creates a lot of work for POs and stuff.
Thank you.
And purchasing and bids. And then the last item we tackled was Commissioner Lovell brought it to our attention, and that was we're getting good reception and use of the Narcan boxes that were put around in the county. And we had actually set up what we thought would be a 6-month supply, and in the first 30 to 45 days, a lot of it's already been picked up. Now, we think that's the first round. We don't expect that to continue, but they're running low on the Narcan. Commissioner Lovell asked that we take $6,600 from the opioid settlement, which is what we used the first time around with $8,500 or $8,600 to get this project started. And that would buy an additional 300 boxes of Narcan to refill these boxes around the county. And so we did make that recommendation and approved that to move on for your consideration tonight. Any questions on any of that? All right, hearing none, I'll go on into the mayor's section. I have several items for you this month. Vote for the mayor's signature on a lease agreement with Pleasant View Volunteer Fire Department located at 1129 Pleasant View Main Street. This is an ongoing lease that we've had for several years since they built the new fire hall. And vote for the mayor's signature on a lease agreement with Pleasant View Volunteer Fire Department located at 4301 Highway 12 North. This is the Henrietta Station, where we now have an ambulance station 4 days a week. Item number 3, vote for the mayor's signature on architect and design contract with Johnson and Associates out of Clarksville regarding the new South Cheatham Library facility. Next item is vote for the mayor's signature on Quadrant maintenance contract for postage machines. And then the next item, vote for the mayor's new appointment, Clint Biggers, for Solid Waste Regional Planning Board to take Marie Spafford's place, and that term would end March 31st of 2027. An additional item, vote for the mayor's signature on agreement with GovEase for Chancery Court regarding auctioning off delinquent tax properties. And then the last item I have for consideration would be vote for the mayor's signature on R.J. Young contract for the VSO copier. Any questions on any of those?
This architect, Johnson and Associates, is that the same architect that's doing VSO automobile?
Yes, that's Rudy.
Sure about him, no. When he done did all the work out there and all, they made the offices too small for the furniture fit in. I'm not sure we don't maybe need to look somewhere else for an architect.
That's a standard size office, Mr. No.
I understand that the offices are too small for furniture, and now they gotta buy new furniture.
I think they want to buy new furniture, but again, that was part of it. But we've never said we've got to build an office around a piece of furniture. That's a standard size office. It's not too small office. That's misinformation. That office is not too small.
Is this Clint Biggers, is he the one that's running for commissioner?
He is.
6th District, yes. Yeah, I talked to the mayor earlier in budget. I asked him the question about that.
The solid, yeah, I can explain it.
It's
The
a
solid.
once a year
Yes.
meeting, but Clint, if he's elected, you would pick someone else, correct?
Yeah, the Solid Waste Board meets in April. We just met a few weeks back. And what it is to approve the solid waste report and plans for the county, which have to be submitted to the state. So this board reviews that plan. We did it just a few weeks ago. It was turned in the state. We won't meet again until April. It's once a year, and Ms. Spafford had missed the last two, and this time we couldn't even get her to respond. That's the reason we're going to go ahead and replace it. If Clint is fortunate enough to be on the, or cursed enough to be on the commission, I guess I could say, then we would choose somebody else for next April to replace it, to replace him.
All right, any other questions? All right, move along, Mr. Blythe.
I don't have anything tonight unless anybody has a question.
Any questions for our attorney?
I got a question. In relation to working these inmates, like what I said about putting them to work, letting them help the county out too. And I know liabilities, blah, 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 but I just want to use this as an example. If this courtroom needed painting today, would it be acceptable for those inmates to paint this courtroom? Or is that too big of a liability?
That's probably not a great liability risk. It would depend in part on the sheriff. You've got to supervise them if they're inmates, so the ability to do that.
I mean, I can't see that would be near the liability as if you got them out on 70 highway picking up trash.
Well, they do have them on the highway in the right of way. I mean, don't generally put any inmates on private property.
Right. Well, but I'm just saying, I mean, to me, years and years ago, we utilized those people. They're sitting over there doing nothing. And if we could get something out of them, why don't we look into that and get something out of them people? Labor ain't cheap. We got plenty of free of it sitting right over there. If this courtroom needed painting, what are we gonna do? Spend $20,000 to paint it, and we could get by with a few buckets of paint and 4 or 5 of them boys over there, men, women, whoever they are. It ain't rocket science to paint these walls. talking about, we need money, we need money, we need money. Well, come on, man, let's open our eyes and look at it. What can we do? They can do this, but they can't do this. I understand you can't put them up here roofing this building. Well, I would, but I'm just saying, surely there's a job classification for an inmate over there that's, and I guarantee you, what is the sheriff, they get 2 for 1 if they get out of work?
They do, yeah, but I can't put them on private property. I'm not going to prison.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but they could paint this room, couldn't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's something we ought to look at, you know.
You remember a few years ago, we had an inmate working at the landfill. He fell off into the dumpster. There's no telling what they cost us. Or cost the insurance. Somebody cost somebody a lot.
He did it on purpose.
Well, I mean, regardless.
Inmates, the year they took Ramson's building with Charles Ed, I mean, loaned it, everything.
I guess them days are gone.
All right, anybody else have anything for the attorney? All right. Ms. Bernie, you have anything?
Not tonight, thank you.
Ms. Perry? Mr. Sheriff? Sheriff?
I'm positive.
You ready for Wednesday?
Yes.
School board, Miss Stacy had to leave. So UT Extension,
Y'all have the information in your packets.
you may have any questions? All right, Veteran Service? You're up.
I'll make it quick. I'm tired of cutting them up again time.
You got 3 minutes.
We've got my doors. Actually, we're here to talk about a wall. You've all been supplied with a folder. So my office, in partnership with the Vietnam Veterans of America, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and the American Legion, are in the process of applying what's called the Wall That Heals. So you should have this in your packet. Do you want to play the video or you not? We don't have any sound. So he's going to show a video, but we don't have any sound. Right now, we're at the very beginning stages. We meet with Ashland City next Monday to choose dates. And this is for the year 2027. So part of the process is you have to have 2 locations plus blackout dates and dates that they're available to come. Right now, we have put together a good committee, I think, to oversee this. Walter, Commissioner Weekly is one of the co-chairs. I am the other co-chair. And we have several community members who are involved in this process. So this is a big undertaking. This is going to be, there's 150 shifts that we have to cover with volunteers. And you have to have 6 to 8 volunteers per shift. So this is a big community project. We're really hoping we can get the community to stand behind us. I think with all the active veterans organizations that we have in the county, I think we have a good shot at doing this. To bring the wall here, it's $12,500. That's just the site fee. We have to have half of that up front when we apply. The application is due by the end of August. We're already in the process of starting that. Ms. Colette, she's a great writer, so she's working on that for us. There's a lot to this, guys. So
The Vietnam Veterans Memorial
in your
Fund,
packet, it
3 years
explains
ago,
how
3
big
years
the
ago,
wall is. It's
a
328
replica of the
feet.
wall that travels
from
to
end to end.
communities around the country.
So
that we
the
call
park we're looking
Fund
at is the River
This
Bluff
mobile
Park.
replica
We don't have to
really
come up with
is
another
about
location.
taking the name
Um,
to community,
We've had several
large and small,
places,
to
fairgrounds.
allow people to have that same kind of healing
Mike
experience,
Hangy, who is the
to
owner
come
of,
and show their respect.
thank
to
you, Hangar
remember
13, I'm tired.
those 58,000
Hangar
whose
13, they are
names
building a
on the wall,
new
as
facility.
well
They've
as
offered
the
their
2.7
site.
million
They're willing to
veterans
put the
who served
parking
in
in.
return
We have to have a
home.
minimum of
It's
60
a
parking
chance
spaces.
to look back
This
and
wall is open
pay
24
their
hours
respects to
a day
those
while it's
who
here.
answered
It's
the
here
call
for
to
6
service to their
days.
country,
And it has to be
especially those who
manned
made
the
the
entire
ultimate
24
sacrifice.
hours. So
To be
we're,
able
with the help of
to take
hopefully
this
the
around
sheriff's office, Ashland
communities
City
that
Police,
may
the
not
fire
even know anything
department,
about
we'll
the
be able
law or the war, especially
man
for
it
the young kids
with
to
volunteers.
come out and see these things and get educated.
We have to have infrastructure. That infrastructure
These
is,
58,000 plus
we have to have
gave their lives
two
for,
20
whether
amp
they want to hear about it or not,
and
they
one
need to
50
know.
amp.
The
This is the
experience
only
at the
wall
Hills is as
that
you go
travels
from
that
one
has an
end
education
toward the
center.
center.
So
actually
they bring
rises
it,
up
they
above
park
you
it,
so
we
that
can
it's
either have it on
all
grass
level,
or pavement.
which is one
If
of the
it's
key
on the
design
pavement, we
aspects
have
of
to
the wall
provide the
Washington
anchors
as you
for
go
it.
down one of the walkways,
And it
the
tells
wall
you in there what it
actually
has to,
rises above you.
what they are.
And I think
It's,
that has a psychological impact
50,
where
14,
you
50
actually
gallon water barrels.
understand that there is something important.
This is the one that,
so
when we
large
spoke
that
with
it
Commissioner
creates an
Weekly, this is the
emotional
one that we
power.
chose to bring because it
You
has the
understand
education
you're
center.
supposed to stop.
Um,
You're supposed to think about it. And in this case,
They do
you can
memory.
read these, you can see your reflection
In,
in the wall.
in memory wall, a
And
memory
you
wall.
have to
And what they do is they
why
gather
those names are
all the
inscribed.
veterans from
These
Vietnam
are
who've
people
passed away,
who
and they put
sacrificed
a
their
PowerPoint
lives
together, and it's played
I
in
get
this
this
education
feeling
center from the area
the pride that you
throughout the
When we
entire
went into
time it's
San
here.
Dimas, the kids
And
were
we do
all
have
in the
a
streets with their
historian
American flags.
and
That
a
always
veteran
fills
that
me
we
up
have put in
because
charge of that.
I know what it is to
So,
serve this country. And
Do you guys have any questions for us,
don't
or
understand the
anything you want to
cost.
know?
hate the war all you want, but don't hate the war either.
I met a couple
I think
guys
it's
here
awesome.
this morning.
I think
One
it's
guy,
great.
I walked up
What
there
is,
and he
what
started
is,
crying
what is your
already.
projection for the
That
total
makes me
cost?
feel good. Not that he's crying, but that he's here to
I
have
think
bonding. with
when we
someone.
meet with the committee, we're gonna have our first committee meeting after we meet with the city, but right now we're projecting 20,000. It's a $12,500 site fee, plus we're asking for more than that just based on incidental, like water, to supply stuff for volunteers and stuff like that, so.
Advertising.
Advertising, yeah.
And wherever this wall is coming from, we will go meet it with escort, with the highway patrol, the sheriff, police, ambulance, fire departments, whoever, to bring it through Ashland City like a parade, going to the River Bluff Park.
Would that, is it your spot in the walking trail there? Is it
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
In the middle of the walking trail where the walking trail is?
Soccer.
Oh, it's at the, yeah, it has to be the soccer field.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to set so far back, but it has to be close enough to parking that you have to have handicap accessible. So, yeah. That's why it's really important on where we, if we're chosen, where we can put the wall. It is gonna be in Cookville, October, what is it, the 22nd through the through the 25th. So the committee is required, that's part of the deal, to go to the closest one, to tour it, to kind of see what we're getting ourselves into. But everybody that's on the committee that we've spoke to, that has said they're willing to help us out with this, is all for it. So we just kind of want to give you a heads up on what we're working on. Yeah. You guys have any questions for us?
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Keep us updated. Thank you. ECD?
Thank you. I hope all of you received a folder that I left in front of you. If you didn't, please let me know, and I will pass out one if you didn't get one. The first stack in the folder is just a calendar from June 2025 to now. It's a breakdown from month to month of all of our meetings and projects that we have done at ECD. In the back of the packet, you will see our calendar from every day, and in the front, it's just a breakdown, a description of everything that we've done from June 2025 to now. So meetings, engagements, projects, and initiatives. If you have any questions, my door at the office is always open, my cell phone is always on. Please don't hesitate to call me. I'm willing to answer any questions. The next item that we have is project opportunities that were not pursued. So these are RFIs that are sent to us from the state. We get between 6 to 8 a month. And this is just letting you know we have no land left, no industrial land. So we have to say no to pretty much all of these projects. We need to get our IDB board more invested into looking for land for us to build a new commerce park. This is just some of them that I put on this paper. I have a whole packet, a whole folder in my office of RFIs that we have not responded to because we do not have the land or the infrastructure to hold something like this. If you look on the second page, it tells you the potential jobs that were lost by not answering any of these projects. 1,400 jobs were lost, capital investment of $680 million to $700 million. The volume and scale of these projects unable to accommodate is clearly a demonstration that Cheatham County is on the radar for major economic growth. And it's up to us what we want to bring in and to plan accordingly of what is good for our county and what is not. So on the next packet, on the next set of papers that I'm showing you, these are active and ongoing projects that we have been working on. I've broken it down to you by planning, active, what is under evaluation, what is near completion. The projects that I forgot to put on here, we have a property off of exit 19 near Boat Factory Road who would like to annex all the way into Cheatham County. He has half in Robertson, half in Cheatham County, so we're working with him. The only thing we're waiting on is the response from the attorney. We also helped Pleasant View come up with a packet to attract Buc-ee's off of exit 24. This was before he was bringing in the Wawa. So there are many things that are not listed on here that our department has done just to let you all know. Again, doors always open. You all can come in and ask questions. We are also helping Progressive Health. He has been into my office several times. We're working with him. He wants to get together with the schools, the county, and our industrial park to set up clinics. I know you had mentioned something about clinics, so maybe it's something we can set up a conversation with him about as well. So Bell's Reserve was halted. I just have a bigger question. I thought this project was a very good project to bring to the county. We had a lot of questions on the mayoral debate about taxes being raised, about parks not being done. If we don't bring in something like this, then taxes are going to keep getting raised. Parks are not going to get done. Our schools are not going to get the stuff that they need to build bigger and better schools for I want everybody to think about this project. It's a good project. Again, it's 500 and something acres. They're only going to utilize 100 and something of it. So please take into consideration and bring back to the planning and let GNRC come up with an amendment to make things right. Thank you for your time. Remember, our executive board meetings are open to the public. They are every third Monday at 8:15. If you all want to know what ECD is doing, don't hesitate to call or to come or to join in one of our meetings. They're all open. We're not afraid to share any information with you unless we sign something where we can't. Any questions?
Have you heard anything about IMI Concrete coming back to Ashland City?
IMI Concrete does own a piece of property right next to the Braxton. They were leasing it out to somebody. I just spoke to Chris today. They have a lot of cleanup to do, but that's where they're going to be working out of.
They're going to bring the concrete business back?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Do we have anybody that's looking for property for an office park in Cheatham County?
Well, we have
does the industrial development, are we looking to fix a.
I would love for our industrial board to look for something for a commerce park. That would be amazing. We do have David Harris, who is building his office park next to Camus Boats, but we need something bigger, something that has more land, something that's able to attract more jobs, more money.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do we have somebody looking for that space already that the county can buy and say, hey, we've got.
No, sir, not yet. That is a conversation we need to have with our industrial development board.
What about, what is it, the 31 exit?
There's nothing big enough up there.
No.
That's gonna be the problem, is finding a piece of land that's big enough that's developable. I mean, flat, or, you know, fairly flat, or can be filled in.
What around Maxey Road exit?
Infrastructure, water, sewer is not there.
Thank you all.
Anybody got any questions? Thank y'all. Thank you. Chamber of Commerce.
It's basically about the normal. We've just been attending several events you all have seen on our Facebook page. We try to keep you all informed with both our first of the month calendar, and then of course showcasing pictures and the events as they're taking place, and ribbon cuttings, partnering with the businesses that are celebrating anniversaries and things. We did just have our first Men in Business called the Wise Guys. Gianni Scramunzi, one of our board members, has stepped up to lead the way with that. It was a wonderful turnout, and we're looking forward to them getting together every quarter, so we'd love to see you guys there. We are looking at a resource publication as we work with our nonprofit organization. It actually derived from the warming center that we held during the ice storm, and so we're putting together a publication so that everyone knows the resources available and the services that they provide throughout the entire county to help and answer any questions and knowledge that maybe those have not shared with others. We are working with CHIGA with the grant that they have there. We have increased our membership by 40 members in the first quarter, several from outside counties, so that should say a lot of, just as Miss Gina had carried on about development and growth and improvements here into our county. People are wanting to be a part of what we have here. We did submit budget requests to all of our municipalities as well as the county budget in order to grow our audience about the happenings, the businesses, and the services here in Cheatham County. Filming begins at the Braxton at the end of this month for a television show. I'm not sure if you all have heard about that. We're very, very excited about having that happen. It's going to be both in the marina and at the Braxton Towers as well. We'll work with several businesses, showing them, growing them, and introducing them to other community partners as they pair up to see what success is built by working together. Our directory is about to go to the printer. This week should wrap it up, and it should be back out in a couple of weeks, ready to distribute about 4,000 copies of all the businesses that we have in the Chamber of Commerce and the services and products that they offer. We continue to stand strong on unity in the community, being better together, stronger for longer, and that inability to find common ground hurts all involved, both directly and indirectly. So at the end of the day, we can be anything. If we can be anything, let's be Cheatham Amazing. Thank you so much. Any questions?
This video at the Braxton, it's not
It's a TV show.
Oh, it's not a David Anderson.
If I can audition.
I'm not sure. I can ask them. They'll be coming in. I'll ask if you can have a part. Yes, sir. And Monell's has been postponed. They were hoping to be opened by the rodeo, which I did not mention, May 22nd, 23rd. However, they have been delayed, and it probably won't be until June or July at this point.
Was it last year your first year doing that?
Sir?
The rodeo?
This is our second year.
Second.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
It did go well last year, too.
It did. It was very successful. It was a wonderful economic impactor to the community with all of the travelers coming into town. But it also showed our residents here what a good, clean family weekend can be had here in Cheatham County. Yeah. Any questions?
How many members do you have in the chamber now?
535. Yes, sir. We're very, very pleased. Very blessed. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right, committee, Fair Board.
Yes, we approved an on-premises permit for the Vintage Bean on Jackson Felts.
All right.
I got one more thing on the
Emergency service?
Yeah, from April the 12th to April 18th, if you see any of them or you happen to talk to any of them, I hope it's in a non-emergent fashion, but this is Telecommunicator Week for our 911 dispatchers. So a thank you or job well done kind of thing would be much appreciated. They are literally the first line of your first response, and they oftentimes go unnoticed because they're not out in the limelight. So if you see any of these folks or talk to any of them, just job well done.
Thank you. Capital improvements, nothing, calendar rules?
I have two, I'll let Diana do the one, Coach Lee Hunter.
I'll pass it on an email. I'd like to recognize Coach Lee Hunter. He's coached 16 years in our school system and is retiring.
Okay, and the other one I have is renominating members for the County Board of Equalization for 26-27, and that's Jane Hanna, Gary Chance, Dale Brinkley, Brenda Montgomery, and then the Jackie Simpkins is appointed by Ashland City to move that toward next week.
Any questions? Road and Bridge?
Road and Bridge, we met. We lowered the speed limit from 40 to 25, New Hope Church Road in Neptune. And we discussed Autumnwood's shack. And Mr. Bly, we wanted an attorney opinion on it. But we didn't take any action. Are we giving them that property, or?
It might be worth talking about exactly why they want it, because otherwise you aren't giving them property right in the middle of your right of way.
Right.
So if the goal is just to let them utilize it, it may be possible that an agreement short of transferring the property might be the best way.
Could you do like a lease?
Yeah, a lease or a license or something like that, so you're not permanently giving up that thing right in the middle of your right of way.
Yeah. That's what we want some guidance on what we need to do.
And I may need a refresher on exactly what the neighborhood's goal is.
Well, they were almost like bringing it in as a neighborhood association. They established that so that they could deal with the county and either bring it in and of course I said if we were looking to give it to that association, they need to do a survey so we could identify it. But what you're talking about, we should be able to do that if they have enough description.
Still might need a survey, but I guess I'm just wondering, and maybe you can
I
tell me
was just looking to take care of it.
Yeah.
Because right now it's in the middle of the road and they decorate it every once in a while for the neighborhood, but they just wanted to have the ability to decorate it and take care of it and stuff like this, paint it or whatever it needed to make sure it was good with the neighborhood.
And it would be in our interest for them to take care of it.
Yeah, we don't really maintain it and we won't be able to paint it and put a new roof on it or anything like that. It's a little, like I said, it's just a little shack.
Mr. Binkley says he welcomed it and didn't know whether we was transferring to them or we're just gonna let them do it.
Maybe if you give me a contact or somebody I can talk to.
Sure,
the
sure.
neighborhood
I'll get to see you
association.
tomorrow, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, she's been in touch with our office. It started probably around
That's all.
Halloween or so. It's been several months. I didn't hear from them that they established that neighborhood group as being recognized as a
Nothing else?
nonprofit.
Road and Bridge? That's it? All right, any other new business?
One more thing, a few years back, we did do the, on the calendar rules, for the early voting and election day or primaries. So you actually put, like at Sycamore Square, if you have 3 entrances, you can put 2 small signs at each entrance. Where you have your sitting, you can have as many signs you want. But, and of course, over 100 feet away from the entrance to the election. And so I know the other two precincts, City Hall, Pleasant View, and then Pegram. So you can have, I don't know, do they have one or two entrances, but you can have two small signs at the entrance, and then where you're at, you can have what you want. So we did that a few years ago because some folks kind of went overboard. So that's why we have restrictions, and you can do it 2 days before, and then by May 7th, you need to take them down, even though the election is, again, in August, you can put them back up before the election day in August.
Is that just for Sycamore Square?
That's for all three.
That's all three, okay.
While we're on the election, I'd like to see us do away with the Republican primary. It's not a Republican primary. Democrats, independents, or Republicans all. And it cost us, how much does this election cost us, Mayor?
Well, the 2 rounds on the special election for Matt Van Elst was $104,000, so you're probably looking at about $50,000 to $60,000 for a standalone election, like a general or primary.
Do we have any choice in that?
I'm
Well, I understand that
We don't
it
have
has-
any choice in that, do we, or do we?
Is it?
I'm sorry, we don't have what?
Any choice in the matter as far as the,
Well, that may be a thing for the attorney to look
having a
at.
primary?
The Republicans claim we can't go back and do that, but I don't know how they can force us to.
Well, the Republican, as I understand it, the Republican Party, or either political party, can require it. And that is what happened in Cheatham County. There's been a subsequent amendment to the law, and I'm not even sure you can go back now. It's confusing when I read it. It used to be, you could have at least asked them to do away with it. You couldn't force them to, but now I'm not even sure it allows you to do away with it.
So it'll be this way forever?
With the fiasco that's been this year, not only in Cheatham County, but all across the state, I'd like to see us do away with it. Take that $50,000 and put it some worthwhile project. Because you're not elected till August.
Yeah.
I'd like it to go back the way it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
Everybody, you vote August 6th or whatever, and not have the primary and
We made that
extra money
166
cost the
years.
county and all that too.
What happens if the county don't fund it?
County
I
has to
don't,
fund it, don't it?
then you probably get sued and get required to do it.
I think Stewart County has not funded some elections down there.
And
Stewart County.
Doesn't the, like Democrats, like say in my district, it's just me and Cal, where we vote Republicans. So Democrats cannot vote whether in the Republicans' primary, can they?
They can, yes.
I thought they would.
Well, they passed a state law that says you shouldn't do that, but if they truly want to do that, the state needs to have closed primaries, where you say up front when you register you're a Republican, Democrat, and that's the only one you can vote in. It's open primary state. They passed that little law, but I don't know what kind of teeth it would have in it at the end of the day.
Now, you hadn't got to, when you vote May 5th, you hadn't got to say, Republican, Democrat, Independent.
Yeah.
You just go in and vote. So it's not a Republican primary. I'd like to see us do away with it, because like I said, that $50,000 could be spent on schools, lunch programs.
What would be the first step to addressing it? Where do you go?
We have to go through the Republican Party.
Will you find out, Mr. Bly, if we can change it?
Yes, I mean, if you can undo it now, it would be up to the parties to do it. The alternative to that would be to talk to your representatives in the General Assembly.
Here's the thing that stinks about all this. The majority of counties in Tennessee are small rural counties. When you get a sheriff's and commissioners, they represent everybody. And so when it causes such a division, that's what happened when Rutherford County changed that, where they had primaries, and then they voted for the Republican because of the R, but he turned out to be an idiot that got indicted and made such an embarrassment overall. It's the person, it's not the letter. That's what, especially with the small counties. I understand Nashville's different, but some people are going to go in and vote because it's a D or an R, They're not gonna vote on the person. I mean, it's what that doesn't, that's why I have a real problem with this.
I mean, the state Republican Party doesn't send anything down for us to offset the election.
No.
Doesn't send us
Especially
any
county
money.
primary, that's all on our bill, on our tab.
Yeah, so, you know, we can have it if they'll send us $50,000 to do it. Be glad to tell them.
Even if they could change it, it wouldn't go in effect till what, 2020, the next
Be 2
years?
We made it 166 years without a Republican primary.
Did just fine.
All right, anybody else got anything?
I have one thing really quick, and I'll be quick, but I put a flyer out on everybody's desk. If you would just share this, we're doing a series of 3 suicide prevention and overdose reversal training, and we're serving a meal. So the first one is the 27th, that's a Monday night at Pegram United Methodist Church. The next week will be at Gateway Church down here, and then shortly thereafter we'll be in Pleasant View, but we're still working on the location.
Anybody else got anything? Motion adjourned?
Motion.
You know,